It's a celebration of all things Gundam in my review of Gundam Build Fighters, Episode 23. The Gundam Build Fighters anime series is built upon the foundation of references and cameos and shoving as much Gundam lore into your face that you can handle over the course of about 22 minutes. And this week's episode was quite the accomplishment because typically when I'm reviewing and watching these anime series, I tend to have a notepad with me so that I can take notes and, bring up the things that I think are really important about the episode. But just within the first 2 minutes this week, I couldn't keep up. There were characters being referenced from literally every single Gundam anime made over the course of the last 30 years. And it shows how incredibly rich and awesome this anime franchise is. And after a couple minutes of this, I just said, fuck that noise. I'm just gonna sit back, relax, and watch this episode, because at the end of the day, this was made for us, the hardcore Gundam fans. The guys who've been watching it for a long time. Whether you've been an original fan who've been watching it in Japan, or whether you saw the very first episode of Gundam Wing on Toonami, this episode was for you guys. So right out the bat, this week's episode was sort of a break before the big final match of the Gunpla World Tournament. So they're having this big 1 week long festival, which is a celebration of the entire Gundam anime franchise. With food, booze, and Gundam models. It's freaking awesome. There's a lot of battling going on. Sei's father finally returns. And let us not forget all of the cameos and references. First, the giant Gundam statue. It is there in all of its glory. I want to go to Japan and see this damn thing. It looks so badass. And it's now joined by a massive real-life-sized Zaku. Japan, make it happen. I've heard it's in the rumor mill, so this just needs to be. A Gundam needs a Zaku needs a Gundam. Now, all the cameos this week are crazy. Like I said, they pretty much have characters ripped from the entire pantheon of the Gundam anime series. And it's everybody from Setsuna from Gundam 00, Haman Karn and Minevazabi from Zeta Gundam and the original Mobile Suit Gundam, Katzletz and Kika hanging out in a teacup ride, Sei's father sitting right next to Char Aznable, the Red Comet, the most badass mobile suit pilot of all time, who's actually wearing his white suit, wearing black glasses, and even references one of his famous lines, which he took when he was insulting Garma Zabi from the original Mobile Suit Gundam. It is almost too much to handle, but right after that, we just get a ton of action. There's Gonda, the school bully, going up against that one little asshole Sasaki and his Gyan, who finally gets defeated. There's also the return of the Italian dandy Riccardo Fellini and his brand new Wing Gundam Fenice. I don't know how to say the last part of it, and I'm not even going to try to butcher that last Italian word. All I know is his brand new Gundam looks really cool. It's basically like a modified version of the Wing Zero version, and I like it. I can't wait to see more from this, and it's a possible hint to show that there might be a second season. But the final match in this little exhibition here is Sei and Reiji. They are actually going to go up against each other. And Sei actually gives him a pretty damn good match. It shows how far he's come, and of course he's using a much better model, the Gundam Build Mark II, while Reiji is just using his newly built beginning Gundam, which has actually been destroyed multiple times. But still, it's just really great to see that. And then there's this one scene that is very strange, where essentially Tatsuya is confronted by Sei and Reiji, and they discuss what's going to happen in the final matches, and why Tatsuya decided to leave to become the third Meijin. And they sort of, come to terms with each other, this is going to be a really good match, this is going to be awesome. But the planets sort of align here, because Tatsuya basically explains that the reason he loves Gunpla is because of Sei's father. This is very similar to his encounter with Reiji, and it's amazing how his dad just sort of gets around, and he recalls the story about how he met him, and how he learned about Gunpla, and how he became enamored with it. And it's also really cool when Sei's father does return and he is reunited with his family. It is very cheesily heartwarming, but it's followed by a huge montage shot of everybody just hanging out and partying. Kirara has a concert, Mao finally gets over his bullshit because of his master, and even Masaki returns. It just gives you a nice, good feeling. But at the end of the episode, there is a little bit of mystery and intrigue, because we do get to see that Niels Nielsen and Caroline have actually found out about the source of the Plasky particles. It's a big rock. That's all it is. It's the freaking Master Emerald from Sonic and Knuckles. It's nothing more. But they sort of leave it at a cliffhanger because Miss Baker and her guards find them, and that's where the episode sort of comes to a close. But there is an after-credits scene where we get a massive tease, and probably my favorite part of the episode. And that's saying a lot because this episode was great. But we got the first look at Tatsuya Yuki's brand new Gundam, which is not the Gundam Exia, not the Exia Amazing, but the Exia Dark Matter. It's red, it's black, it's badass. It looks so awesome. It's probably one of my favorite mobile suits from the series. It's a variant of one of my favorite mobile suits ever, and it already just looks badass. The red and black always just makes things look cooler. You know, I love the Gundam Epion from Gundam Wing. I love the Master Gundam from G Gundam. What are they? Red, black, evil, badass. And it just goes perfect with this final match. But that's not the only upgrade he's going to be getting. It actually looks like he's going to be using the Flana Institute's weird, like, Psy-Kamu, weird metahuman psychic ability suit thing. I'm not sure. All I know is it gives him neon glasses and it makes him look creepy. And it's going to be basically, you know, amplifying his abilities to see the Plasky particles, kind of like what they were doing with Ayla before. It was a nice little twist, and it just shows that PPSE will do anything to win this tournament, even turning their own player into a human weapon. So, awesome episode. I just cannot contain my excitement for it. Just so incredible. You know I missed a ton of cameos in this episode. I am going to be watching it again. I have been rewatching the series with some friends, so I cannot wait to watch this episode. I'm probably going to watch it a couple times just because there's so much going on in the background. And aside from that, all the battles were just really satisfying, all the story cues were good, and the Exia Dark Matter is one of the coolest gunpla I have ever seen, and I cannot wait to see it in action next week in the final round of the Gunpla World Tournament. I can't wait to see if the series is actually going to end with the first season, or if they're going to open up with a second season and continue, because honestly, I'm really enjoying the ride right now. So, no complaints with this episode, and you guys know what I mean when I have no complaints. To me, it's a 10 out of 10 episode, so please check this one out, especially if you are following the series and you are a Gundam fan. You will love this one. It's badass. So if you guys had a chance to check out this week's episode of Gundam Build Fighters, I'd love to hear your thoughts about it. And you can tell me with your comments below. You can tell me about your favorite moments, favorite cameos, what you want to see from the final battle in the Gunpla World Tournament. And remember guys, before you leave, make sure and hit that like button so you can give this video a thumbs up. It's one of the easiest ways to support our videos. Remember guys, you can also check us out on Facebook and on Twitter, and I will put links to those in the description box below. So, I'll see you next time, guys. And happy St. Patrick's Day. May the luck of the Irish be with you. Super Kami Guru 9000. Out.